guys, welcome back to Crave Shock. We have a special video for you today. We're not doing a podcast. We are going through the design notes that were popped up today from the Fractured Crown design note article. Quite excited, guys.
Yeah, it's like I think when we saw the article come up, you sent a message to me, and I'm like, yeah, we probably have to record something straight
Yeah.
away.
This is some
It's exciting.
crazy stuff.
Some definite
Um,
like I'm looking at the cards now. We'll go through them, but like, damn,
So most of you guys have probably read it, but we will go through the article in general.
yeah,
Fractured Crown design notes. Welcome to our first preview of Fractured Crown, FTC. We've learned many lessons through designing the Dawn of Ashes set and by watching how amazing our community gradually developed a meta from the ground up. FTC, as a set, reflects how our team has grown. In this article, we'll be going over the design philosophies and the cards, as well as the product design improvements for a better box opening experience. So, number one, more generic interaction. Our first goal with designing FTC was to make sure there were sufficient generic interaction cards for interactive decks. Losing to a deck, pulling up the Grand Archive Index to search for a card that could help you in that particular matchup and not finding any is a bad feeling for constructed formats. There might always be bad matchups between various decks in a meta, but having access to more generic cards that interact with a wider range of strategies will diminish advantages of some decks with proper preparation and or sideboarding. This is the most truest thing I think I've ever heard.
yeah,
We have desperately needed answers and things that we could just pull out that can help us with certain situations, which isn't going to be like I can run every counter, my deck is number one. You will have to be prepared prior for
yeah,
the bad matchup.
yeah. Like this card, like we'll start off with the first card, Song of Frost. I'll pop all the cards up as we're discussing them
Mm-hmm.
to make it a bit easier. So, Song of Frost, it's a water card, cost 2. Tamer, skill, melody, class bonus. You may banish a card with floating memory from your graveyard rather than pay its card reserve cost. So if you're in Tamer, you can use floating memory, and this is for free. The main thing here is if a unit is attacking, end the combat phase.
Which
As the
does
phase
mean
ends, banish all triggers.
it ends this attack. It does not end the whole combat phase for the turn. It's just the attack that's going off at that moment in time.
But we know against the current Lorraines that are attacking for 9,
Mm-hmm.
how about you don't draw cards off that attack?
The cheeky thing with this and playing it in Water Sylvie or Water Allen is that you can have one card up, which is misleading, and then you can
Yeah,
just smack down the Song of Frost for free if you have a floating,
yeah.
which is quite
But
great.
can be
But
played in all classes. It's only 2.
exactly right. So
It's free cards itself and 2 to pay for it, and just in those attacks that do generate all that additional value, and that's something that's needed into Lorraine's or even like any fire matchup that you have to be
I
wary of a
mean,
rend flames.
this turns off a cleave.
Turns off cleave.
Yeah, someone's mid cleave, you just end it. They lose their cleave card. They don't hit anything.
Yeah,
This is very, very strong. Very strong.
yeah. Very anti Lorraine,
Yes.
very anti rending flames, etc.
Anti thousand refractions.
Thousand refractions. Yeah, any on hits, which
Yeah.
is
Any on hits. Yeah.
there wasn't enough of, so it's good to see that card. The next card is probably my favorite card I've seen out of all the reveals. All the like, don't worry about the collector rares and that they're going to get into. It's
So it's Scavenging Raccoon. It is a 2-cost normal tamer animal raccoon. On enter, banish up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. So you can do it any graveyard, your graveyard, their
yeah.
graveyard, it doesn't matter.
So this I think is it's just that card that disrupts the other person's flow of like, now I'm going to go to level 2, I'm going to go to level 3, because you can get rid of their floating memory, you can get rid of element cards if it's fueling something. Like we'll keep saying fire because fire is the most easy. You can take fire cards out so they can't maybe rending that next turn. Or, like I said, I have been playing a lot of Arcane Right lately. It gets those arcane cards in your graveyard to your banish zone.
Arcane, it
And
may
I'm
as well be
just,
the Arcane Scavenging Raccoon, baby, because he's getting all your Arcane and he's putting it in your banishment.
I'm looking at that and I'm like, I'll probably be mainboarding this in most decks. I'm like, I got to wait 4 months now for this. That's the only problem.
It's funny because for such a, it's a 1/1 2 cost raccoon, like
It's a
whatever.
common.
This is the most terrifying thing for our. If we had this right now, the whole meta
Yeah,
would change around it because
yeah.
the days would be gone that people are just throwing floating in the drop. Because if you're throwing floating in the drop
Mm.
and then you get scavenging raccoon and you lose 2 floating, you are in big trouble.
If I know I'm versing a Merlin, you're already playing around that. Like you're setting it up so
This is
they
a
don't get
Merlin.
that benefit. But
You just
this,
do this
yeah, it's
before you
just
show Merlin. Like this, no, isn't even class bonus. You can do it as spirit. They can just be like, "Yep, I'll crave shock. I'll discard my tempered steel, and I'll pass." I'm like, "Yep, scavenging raccoon."
yeah, yeah.
Screw
It's
you.
definitely going to be good in Tamer, obviously because it's an animal, and then you just get that
hmm
additional benefit. But it's just going to
hmm
be. I can say that's going to be played a lot. And then the last one is who will say if I pronounce this correctly, Verucan Acolyte.
I think that's
So
good.
this is a free cost fire mage human, no class bonus, but on enter, destroy target regalia with memory cost 0. And then if you're level 3 or higher, it gets +3. At its base, it's a 0 attack, 1 defense. So this is played, you're going to be played. Well, this is like what you play with Interrupting Rye. It's like this gets rid of my lantern,
Is that
but
Varuk in the background?
also, well, it's a Verucan Acolyte, so I hope it is.
So we're
I hope
talking with
so.
we had a discussion today. We were talking with some of the boys, right? And
Yeah.
this interrupting Merlin is amazing because Merlin will eat a memory, go to level 3. This is a 3/1, and it will break the
Yeah.
lantern.
Oh yeah.
Like this is good, very
Yeah.
good.
Fire Eyes, I can see playing this. Um, and just in general, it can get rid of a safeguard amulet if they play that earlier.
Yep.
It's
Poison
got it's
dagger,
got a lot of and you're going to be running 4 of them, and
Luxeris map. Oh no, it doesn't get a Luxeris map.
it feels a bit better on the spur than the. Oh, I guess that'll be circumstantial. You've still got Spurn to Ash, which is the same cost, but now you've also got an ally. So if you're not worried about getting allies being killed against like Lorraine's, um,
At level 3, it's a Blitz Mage
at level 3, it is a Blitz Mage
with a bonus.
with an on enter.
Yeah.
Um, so they were the free cards to demonstrate that there's more generic interaction. So I'm assuming that
hmm
there's going to be a bit more.
Yep.
But from what I can see, um, some are fueling archetypes, but then like scavenging raccoon, that's just. I feel like
Huge.
that's like that in some matchups.
Generic normal.
That's adding a turn to the game.
It's crazy. I'm pretty
Like
sure that it was shown there is a promo for it as well. So they definitely know it's good because there is a promo for
I like it. I don't know why it's with the raccoon. I don't know. The picture
it.
just works for me. I just like it, man.
Reminds me of Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy for some
It
reason.
does. Maybe that's why I'm like, I just want to run 4 of them.
Yeah, me too. All right, moving on to the next part of the article. Slowing down
Yeah.
advanced elements, number 2. When initially
Yeah.
designing the advanced element level 3 champions, the goal was that the game would likely end within 2 turn cycles from when a champion reaches level 3. We felt that the advanced element cards designed for Dawn of Ashes hit this mark well. However, we're dissatisfied by how it's limiting the viability of advanced element less decks. In addition, we realize the advantage a player gets from being the first to reach level 3 is too large, even in a matchup where both players are running decks heavy in advanced element cards. Now we're shifting the advanced element endgame timer from 2 turn cycles to 3 turn cycles by creating cards that slow down advanced element strategies, as well as creating cards that support no advanced element strategies. What's your thoughts?
Um, it's funny because when the earlier metas um,
It was
were
all non-advanced.
were were non-advanced, and then you start except Rye, but then you started playing advanced, and you're like, I remember I was like, oh, I have like 6 to 8 in there, and I still think for a beginner building a deck, starting with little and adding is better than overboarding. But you're seeing most decks now running 10 plus
we
of
were
the
we were
advanced
like
element.
primitive back then, mate. We just had no advanced
Yeah,
elements. We just hit each other as hard
nah,
as we
man.
could, as fast as we could.
Nah, man, just hit each other
Now we're
with
cultured.
rocks, and now we've got
Yeah,
guns.
now we're cultured. Yeah.
Um, um, So, be, tweaking that back or having where someone like I don't mind just running an all element deck. Like my Winzander doesn't go to level 3, and then
Mm,
having it now knowing that I can keep up with those other decks. I guess that's promising. Um, we'll go through the cards. Let's see. Tife,
Typh, yep.
yeah, Tife Proclamation. On enter, draw a card. It's a
Mm-hmm.
regalia item. It's one cost.
Mm-hmm.
Players can't draw more than 3 cards each turn unless it's their first turn of the game.
Jesus.
And we know all the decks that win. So, like, Lorraine is drawing more than 3 cards on her kill turn and the power up turns. Rye definitely is. Xander is too by like banishing that card that allows you to draw 2.
Yep.
So
Arcane
that's just saying.
Disposition, draw 3.
But listen here, it says players can't draw, so it's not opponent. You
Nah, it's
play
both.
this, you also can't draw. So,
So you're on the primitive deck just drawing 1 a turn. Happy, mate.
oh, Mike, that Winzander that tries to build a big late coup de grace,
Mm-hmm.
think I'm
100%.
playing tough. Like you have to.
Actually.
Next card, we've got Dawn of Ashes. This is a unique domain. It's a
Is that the name
normal.
of the first set? It's the name of the first set.
Yes, coming out in the
Second
in
set.
the second set.
Very nice
Come on,
looking
guys, get your
card.
shit together. Um,
Yeah.
at its upkeep, at the beginning of your recollection phase, reveal a card at random from your memory. If that card is not norm element, sacrifice Dawn of Ashes. Now this says non-norm element cards cost 1 more to activate.
Alpha male Alan, eat your heart out. Max, where are you, mate? This is perfect.
This card was made for it. That deck probably wins. That deck bet me without this.
Yes, this is
Like
crazy.
that deck,
This is
Alpha Male
crazy.
Allen might actually be a play.
Yeah.
Maybe you got to join Path of Silver now, and you actually want that
Not
Lost Spirit.
not all heroes wear capes. They wear alpha male Allens.
Some of them don't have a Captain Planet ring and just walk around as a normal. And yeah, Dawn of Ashes. Um, you'd probably run it too, like in if you were running a basic element. Like I don't think you'd run this just in normal. Like you can't
Well,
realistically you can't build
I feel
normal
as
element
though
decks.
good players can run this and
Yeah,
have their element and just play it around.
yeah,
Does that
play
make sense?
around it. And even if it just slows your opponent for 1 or 2 turns, you know how big that is.
Yeah.
Um, Slowing an opponent for a turn is usually enough to. Because how many games have you had where you're like, oh, I would have had you next turn? So it's
Yeah. And
definitely
like
exciting to say that.
on paper, like sure, it's 1 cost is not a big deal, but it really is a big deal.
Oh, it
It
is.
really is a big deal.
It is. Oh, Alum, you can go for the next one.
Yep. We have Innovate Agility. So Innovate Agility. As an additional cost to activate this card, de-level your champion and recover 5. To de-level your champion, return the top card of its lineage to your material deck. Units you control gain your choice of stealth or spell shroud until the end of the turn. The more I look at this card, the more I'm hyped about it.
Um, yes.
Would you like to hear why?
Um, go for it.
Your Sylvie level 2, you draw 2. They go to kill your board. You innovate agility. You go back to level 1. You stealth your board. You then level up to level 2. You draw 2. You then innovate agility. D-level. Go to level 1.
Okay. I guess I'm very much in the Win Xander tank at the moment because I saw this and I was like, you know what? That lets me survive one extra turn to
I mean,
because it takes it
level
so much setup.
You can go to level 3. You can stealth as level 3 Xander. You can then D-level and stealth, and then you can level up and
Yeah.
stealth as well, right?
Point to it there when you D level, you're not getting the on enter again of a level 1. Um, just to make that point noted that you're not going to go down.
Yeah. You don't get your on
So if
enter
you
on level
yeah
2. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
no yeah
I do like it. I
um
think it's kind of cool. And I think that the whole D-level recover 5 is kind of a cool and fun mechanic. I'm guessing there will be ones for other colors as well. And yeah, choice
it's
of
an
stealth or
interesting
spell shroud is
it's an
huge.
interesting
Like this,
concept.
this can save your life against a Rye.
This is an interesting concept, and it's going to be I guess D leveling because opens you up to different deck building strategies, especially with how many advanced element cards you want to run. If you've got the option of bringing it back down, if you just don't have that hand. to run that.
The cool reactions to each other will be that someone will arcane blast, someone then will innovate agility, and then in response
Yeah,
to innovate agility, they'll fireball, and you'll have too many damage counters to be the level down, and you'll just die instantly.
yeah.
Those will be cool. This card is dangerous if you don't play it properly. All right, moving down to the next part. So that was it demonstrating slowing down advanced elements, which is fair enough. It's I think that all three of those do slow down advanced elements. Hand size, user experience is number 3 of the article. Grand Archive is a game that naturally has players handling their cards more than most TCGs. In a turn, you might put your hand down to pick up your material deck, shuffle your memory to banish a random card, recollect your memory and pick up your hand that you put down before, and then set cards down to activate cards during your turn. All of this can become cumbersome when playing in person, and your hand contains over 9 cards. In addition, this might stress players from decision paralysis or information overload. This is a funny part of the article, in my opinion. We wanted to improve the user experience for resource management and to find a way to tend away from large hand and memory sizes. Now we are coining a new keyword, influence. A player's influence is equal to the amount of cards in both their memory and hand. With this new keyword, we can design cards that incentivize having low influence, creating a better user experience when it comes to handling cards. Now, I think I think that maybe the keyword's cool, but the way they explained that was horrific.
Yeah.
You
Hand
handle a
size
lot of
user.
cards, so we're going to make a card that makes you handle less cards for the turn.
Are they worried we might sue them for, like, I don't know, carpal tunnel syndrome or something, man? Getting
Yeah.
arthritis in the
We're gonna have to
fingers.
make something to stop this. Everyone's getting carpal tunnel. This is
Someone's had a
crazy.
paper cut. Someone's
Yeah.
paper cut themselves. It's life threatening. Um,
This guy has touched 300 cards in the last hour.
look, I've heard a lot about customer user experience. You know, for UIs and whatnot. Hand sized user experience might be a new one.
All right, going into the first card. The first card is the first card is Fast Cure. It is a 2-cost normal cleric spell. If target opponent's influence is greater than yours, recover 4, and it's floating memory.
Yeah,
This thing is fucking cracked.
yeah.
This will be in every deck.
The more I look at, because you hold it and play it on their
It's just a favorable for every deck, and it heals you,
yeah, yeah,
or maybe it doesn't.
yeah, and you're always going to time this so you heal. The thing
Even if you
that
don't, though, like turn 1, at the end of your turn, I'll fast cure for 0, and I'll level up.
I just don't think I'm going to like cleric. The
Well,
more I look at the
you
cards
don't even
that
need you
come
don't
out
even
for
need to, yeah, you
cleric.
don't even need to use cleric.
I know, it's not class bonus, but I'm like, I'm looking
Mm.
at cleric spells and I'm just not going to like that by the looks of it. On to the next one. Like, that card's enough. Like, yeah, fast cure. It's going to be probably played in a lot of decks. It's
I think so.
when you want a floating memory card that you don't need to that can go with any strategy. There's your card. Like, people
Recover
play
4
favorable.
is so
People play
much, man.
favorable wins when they don't even care about keeping an ally on the board.
What recover 4 is? What 1/6 of your health healed? That is a
Yeah,
lot, especially like
yeah.
at fast speed. It's not even slow speed. If this was slow speed, it'd be. I think it'd be okay if it was slow speed. Fast speed is just insane.
The other one we've got is Luxem 2-cost Illuminate Secrets. It's an action card, Assassin Mage spell. Deal an amount of damage to target unit equal to its owner's influence minus your influence. And then it says the player's influence is equal to the total amount of cards they have in their hand and memory. This is probably going to kill people because it's also a fast spell. This will probably kill people by surprise.
It's like a reverse
Like,
Lightweavers.
yeah, and you're going to have to play around this.
You know what I appreciate looking at this card for the first time? Ryan Manaweaver can copy it.
Oh yeah, it's mage.
And maybe you can maybe Ryan Manaweaver can slam the hand and then copy it and kill them.
I know other fast spells will just get everything out.
Yeah, just throw everything out and then clone this and kill them with their own. That's what I'm looking at right here.
It's another mage spell in Luxem, so like, because
Mm.
we're going to get to that spoiler later on, but we know that one of the other lineage break champions goes not into arcane like the other mage, but goes into crux.
Interesting. I
But
wonder if we've got
we'll get
like
to that.
Mordred Luxem Mage on its way. Who knows, mate? Deadly.
Let's have a look.
All
Okay,
right. Looking
do
at
you want to
number
jump in the next
4.
one?
Yeah. Diversifying the material deck is the part of the article. We're pretty happy with how the material decks vary from class to class. However, when comparing the material decks of different basic elements in the same class, there is a little diversity in the material deck lists. In FTC, we're introducing basic element regalias with an aim of making each basic element class combination feel more distinct. Alrighty, let's jump straight in.
Okay. Effigy of Gaia. It's a
Mm-hmm.
tamer bauble, 0 cost. Class bonus, your champion gets +1 level as long as you control an animal or beast ally. Another beast bondiers just gives you that +1 level. However,
Mm-hmm.
the additional text, which I think is bonkers, whenever an opponent activates an attack card with cleave, animal and beast allies you control get +2 until end of turn.
This is just better than
Good
Beast
luck.
Bombardiers.
Good luck killing the giant
Anything,
monkey
anything.
now.
It's just a better Beast Bombardiers with an extra ability on it.
Yeah, but you'd
And
probably
the
pay
artwork.
that
I like
and
the
beast
artwork.
bondiers
True. I like the artwork on it
because,
as
like,
well.
yeah, you don't have to pay for the flute. Like, it's a 0 cost.
I want that tiger to be a card, or whatever it is next to her. And there's a cat
Yeah.
there too. I like the artwork. That's really nice artwork.
So Wind Tamer. It's probably going to be played in all Wind Tamer decks.
Yeah, 100%.
All right,
100%. That thing is
we've got
crazy.
a water 1 cost Wand of Frost. It's a regalia item, cleric mage wand. Class bonus on enter, draw a card,
Love it.
and then banish Wand of Frost. Target unit's attack gets -3 until end of turn. So it's unit's
Love
attack.
it.
So it's champion or ally -3.
This
Yeah, it's
thing
good.
is really good. If you sit this on the board, a Lorraine or a Xander has to deal with this before they rending or before they
Yeah.
1,000 refractions. They can't just throw in a rending at you because you're just going to negate 3 and it's just going to be painful. Same with
Look,
refractions.
our Varukan acolyte and Spurn
Can't
of
break it.
Ash. Spurn of Ash can.
Yeah, Spam Bashcan.
But like in
Rukin
just in
Acolyte
terms of
cannot.
like if these are some of the regalias coming, like even like the effigy of Gaia, you're gonna want to destroy that if you're
100%.
so regalia removal is gonna be at a
It's
premium.
on the rise, mate. It's on the rise.
I'll let
And
you
we've
have a
got,
chance at
yeah, this is a beautiful card. I actually love the look of this card. Varukan Soul Knife is a 0 cost fire element regalia weapon assassin dagger. So it's for the assassin. Class bonus and element bonus. You may banish 3 fire element cards from your graveyard to activate this card from your material deck. And class bonus on kill, return Varukan Soul Knife to your material deck. So free summon?
fire. Yeah, fire Lorraine gets to free summon it, but
No, 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 no. It does not get to free summon it. It's an assassin. It
yeah,
has to be Xander.
it says class and element bonus.
Yeah, but it have to have the class bonus and be fire. So you have to be assassin and fire.
Well, you'd have to be fire to play it anyway.
Yeah, but I'm saying you have to be assassin to play it as well. If Lorraine doesn't get to have it because she doesn't have the class bonus for assassin.
Yeah, but it seems like a double up then on like class bonus on a kill
It's just
for
saying.
a
I
turn.
think it's trying to say it says element bonus, so Wind Xander can't rip it out or Water Xander can't rip it out. Because if it didn't have
No, fair
element
enough.
bonus there and it had just class bonus there, technically you could sink 3 fire cards and you could summon it.
No, fair call, fair call. I'd be like,
So
I don't know how that deck's gonna work if you're running additional
yeah, right.
additional
I
elements. Remember
don't.
when you tried to do the wind in like the
Yeah,
that deck felt like
yeah.
dog shit.
I don't. I think this is okay. It's good as like for Luxem Xander because you can like summon this. You can deal 2, kill an ally because you've got there in rest mode or whatever, and then it'll go
Yeah,
back to your material deck. But I don't think it's like overwhelming like the other cards we've talked about. I think this is just average so far. I think
yep.
unless you can. No, you can't wake up Fire Xander, really, can you?
Um, you can
Not really
not.
though.
No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. Cool. Moving on to introducing Fantasias and Fractals. This is a new type of card, I'm guessing. To wrap it all up, we're also introducing a new card type, Fantasia. Fantasia is an object card type that represents lingering magic. Besides that, it doesn't have any special game properties tied to it, except for being another interaction layer that we expand on in the future. And then, if you want to read marker further
Yeah, marker further. So it is Fantasia. So it's a bit like a quip card from other games.
or enchant, yep.
Um, yeah. So it's got ally link. So the object enters the field linked to a target ally. If the link is broken, sacrifice this object. So this one, linked ally gets +1/+1 and has vigor.
Mm. Where
Maybe
does your brain
like
go, mate? Where's your brain go?
mine.
Mm.
Big monkey, given that vigor.
See, you made a mistake here, mate. This takes me to Bushwhack Bandit, baby.
Oh, it doesn't
Give the
have to be. Doesn't
Yeah,
have to
Bushwhack
be.
Bandit. Give a +1/+1 in vigor, so you swing with crit, and then you retaliate with crit. Oh,
At that point, you won't ever make it. You might as well play Trusty Steed, make it a 4.
fuck it. Yeah,
No, but
Trusty
yeah,
Steve. True.
definitely Bushwhack Bandit. I'm just thinking like then you really only need to protect one monkey. Like you don't even have to worry about playing a second
This is
one.
good. This is good in Win Lorraine as well on like an esteem night to help you push damage and still
Yeah,
have intercepts up as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
I
I don't
actually
know.
do
When I
like
was
this a
reading, I
lot.
read Tamer Spell, Ally Link. In my head, I just went class bonus.
Yeah, nah, any win deck. So we're thinking anything,
Yeah.
which is quite exciting.
And then we've got
Yeah.
our fractals.
Yeah, so among the Fantasias, there's a new class of resource cards called Fractals. As another way for us to encourage better hand size user experience, all Fractals have a new keyword, reservable, which helps you pay for reserve costs. Fractals are mainly found as water element cards. So another
The
thank you, Weaves of the Shore, for the helping our hands. I do appreciate our hand size user
yeah,
experience. Do
yeah.
appreciate it. These look good. So I'll just jump into the
Uh,
deep sea
so
fractal.
just
Yep.
quickly,
Mm.
these are probably easiest explained to anyone's played Magic as a mana rock.
Yep. Yep.
You
Yeah,
pay to
100%.
put it out, and then you can then tap it as a memory.
Mm-hmm. So 2 cost Deep Sea Fractal is a water fractal, and it has hindered on it, so it comes in rested. On enter, each player puts the top card of their deck into their graveyard, and this thing stays on the board and has
Yeah.
reservable. So if you want to pay for something, you can tap this and pay for it. I think this
Then
is huge.
yes,
This is another mill card. You can glimpse and mill floating with this. You can pay for stuff. Like
it's
this is
ramp.
huge, huge. Yeah,
You're
this is
ramping.
really good.
Um,
And I can't think of any thing that can get rid of it. I think Excalibur. That's it.
it it's either like you can mill, but like you're not even like floating memory in these decks are important, but you need them. Like if you're going to start playing, like you got mana rock, so I think it opens up a lot for water. We'll talk about the next one because it's also a
Mm-hmm.
water one.
Mm-hmm.
Protective Fractal. It's a 4 cost. Also has reservable, but it has its tap ability being prevent the next 1 damage that will be dealt to target champion this turn.
Yeah, this is sick. This is really good.
So get that early. You can tap it a few times.
Yeah,
Obviously, you
if you
can't
get this
use
early,
it that turn.
if you get this early, and you block every turn, like you could be blocking 6, 7 damage in a game per one.
Yeah, but you won't be able to use it as memory. But however, the thing like I who haven't seen all the cards is um, they are a different like class. They're Fantasia. So
Yep, they're
the
in their own
current
property.
the current Regalia Destruction
Doesn't hit it.
won't deal with this
Correct.
except that Luxem Excalibur.
Excalibur. Yep.
So at the moment, what we know is the only thing that can destroy these,
It's
which
kind of
is
like, hey guys, we've got all this new interactability. We've got all these things. You can deal with regalia. You can
yeah,
deal with attacks, but we're going to introduce fractals that you can't deal with. You can't deal with anymore.
yeah. Um,
I like them though. I think it's going to be cool. I think that
and to
water
saying that they're all
probably
going to be
needed this.
water, if they're only like a majority of them in water, water could be strong,
Yep.
and maybe my tier list is then finally accurate. Um,
Can you imagine having 4 or 5 of these on the board of like 3 1, two of the other, whatever, and then just being able to pay like one for an Insol, pay free for a Tide Diviner?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's so
It,
strong.
you're, yeah, yeah.
Like
Um,
Spirit Blade Ascension, you just don't even have to pay for it. You just tap one fractal, Spirit Blade
a-
Ascension, draw two, tap another
any
fractal, Spirit Blade Ascension, draw two.
not even in Lorraine. Like there's a lot of fun things you can do with Tamer, and then you're looking at the cost, and it's like I need like a 10 card hand,
Yeah,
or I
not
need a six
anymore.
card hand, and I need
Four
five.
fractals, yeah.
Yeah, some fractals out. And the
Yep.
last fractal is a 2 cost normal, so everyone gets to play this one. Fractal of Insight. Now on enter, you may rest Fractal Insight. If you do, glimpse two. So essentially, you can put it in and then glimpse, but then not use it to pay for something else, or play it to pay for something else. Most of the time, you're probably going to glimpse two because, as we know in this game, glimpsing is very important because there are no mulligans. So cycling is good.
This thing is a 4 of in every deck. It's a hot take, but this thing is busted, busted.
Um, yeah, I could see me playing. I'm like looking at my current list, and I'm like,
Why
yeah,
would
it's
you
probably
not? Why would,
this is probably
it's a
squad.
glimpse too, and you get to draw a free card that's a cardboard blank card technically that you can only pay costs for, but it's a it's a +0.
Yeah, look, if your game plan isn't to win in like
It may as
all
well say
these
on
fractals,
enter.
all these
Yep.
fractals, and why majority of them are in water because water can extend games. Is the
Yep.
games do need to extend,
Yep.
because you aren't doing anything proactive with these.
But
You're ramping
this
to
may
have
as well
very
say,
big turns, but you're pretty slow. Because like
yeah,
if it's 5 cards to get protective fractal out,
or
you get
it's
that
four
out.
fractals.
So the way I see these cards, like you're gonna say yeah 4 ofs, but you probably do need a balance because if you start seeing them late, they're dead cards.
Yep.
So while I do think like yeah, I think they're gonna be some like decks that take advantage of them, and then there's gonna have some decks with like very strong late games. We
Yeah. I
we
just
don't
think
have
that
we
this.
don't have mulligans,
No, we don't.
and you might get dead hands. So obviously water can help with that with like tide diviners or whatnot. Um, it's got plenty of glimpse, but yeah. So I want to see the rest of them. But I could imagine that at a minimum there'll be a couple fractal of like
Does
insights
this take
in most
does
decks.
this take Idle Thoughts spot?
In some decks, maybe because fractal of insight, yes, because you can glimpse. Um, and I like glimpse more than just rearranging the top four. But I'll take the rearranging top four because that's what
But
I've
you
got.
lose floating though.
I'll lose floating, but
But
in
they're gonna
Arcane Rye,
they're gonna scavenging raccoon your floating anyway, mate. So
yeah, same. You got an anti raccoon tech straight away.
yeah,
Um, like from the lens of Arcane Rye, you don't care about that floating memory because you want to use Arcane cards anyway.
yeah,
So you do like this because one of the problems with those decks, and especially like the water one, is when you do level up and you've used Arcane, if you're playing that, you have no cards.
yeah.
So if you've got stuff to be able to play, to pay for the cards that you do have, um, very interesting. I don't. Looking at this so far, I don't feel like there's power creep. Um,
Nah, I don't think so. I think it's just there's just more
I think there's
tools.
just different. I think this
People
is
are
like the
gonna have
expanded vision.
people are gonna have to play differently in FTC. It's not gonna be the same
Yeah, you
game.
can't play it.
You're not gonna
No,
sit there and crave shock and put 4 floating in the drop feeling safe. Like that's gone
yeah.
now.
I think
Um,
obviously this doesn't come out till August, and there's going to be way
yeah,
more spoilers, and this is just a taste.
yeah.
So continue playing your existing way in all the tournaments, but
At the same time,
Ascent is
the,
going to be
the,
very different.
3, 4, 5, 6. So what? 3, 4, 7, 9, 12, 15. This is 18 cards showing, right? This
Yeah,
is 1/4 of the whole set. It's pretty good.
yeah, yeah. We'll continue
Uh,
to move on.
yeah, yep, yep. So product design notes. One, too many one of duplicates. In Dawn of Ashes, material deck cards were as common as main deck cards of the same rarity. While this does make material deck cards more accessible, it led to a poor opening experience for those wanting to crack 4 or more boxes. In FTC, we'll be short printing all material deck cards within each rarity. In return, this change increases the availability of main deck cards, which were notoriously difficult to get a playset for by just opening boxes. On average, material deck cards will be short printed by 20 to 40% compared to main deck cards within the same rarity. We believe material deck cards will remain very accessible within this change. We'll be watching for feedback and adjust in future products if needed. This is amazing, and most companies wouldn't even think of this. But like for them to do this and like to play with these numbers is huge because there
Yeah.
was way too much material in
Yeah,
Kickstarter.
so I think so Fab does this as well. They short print one of cards.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. You don't need 5 sort of seekings.
Mm-hmm.
Um so definitely definitely needed, definitely something that's a plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and now the
Cool.
juicy part, the spicy, the why
Number
people
two.
buy crack packs.
Yeah. Yeah. Number two, collector rare rates. In Dawn of Ashes, the first edition had 1 in 15 boxes containing a collector ultra rare. We feel like this rate is a good spot for collector rares, but boxes were never at an accessible price point for most people after the product had been released. Due to high demand of Dawn of Ashes first edition, 1 in 15 boxes really felt like 1 in 30 boxes. In the Ultra edition of Dawn of Ashes, the CR rates decreased to 1 in 30 boxes. This is primarily due to only having 4 collector super rares in the set and a goal of making the product more player focused. In addition, the pull rates for CRs were wildly random. We've had people flexing that they opened 3 CRs in one DOA, one DK, shout out to Jer, while another individual opened their first CR in 50 boxes. In most cases, the frustration of many is not worth the excitement of a few. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
FTC, we want more people to see what a CR looks like. Some of the CRs we've made are some of the prettiest cards we've ever seen in any TCG. We're increasing the CR rate back up to 1 in 15 boxes to FTC, but this time the product should be much more accessible than DOA 1E on release. In addition, the lower MSRP per box makes CR even more accessible. Lastly, we're
Yeah.
increasing the amount of boxes in a case from 6 to 18. With this, we'll also be guaranteeing that each case has at least 1 CR. This change will prevent a lot of frustration for people opening lots of product and getting unlucky. Cases can still have more than 1 CR. Now, we can't talk about CRs without showing off a couple. Here are some you can find in FTC. This is
Okay.
great. Like some people are going to be upset because they want to gamble, but having a guaranteed 1 per 18 boxes is really good for the game and really good for people's mental health, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
The fact that
I'm
I'm getting
not
a case, so I'm getting 18 boxes, I will guarantee 1 SIG, right? And I'm happy that that is a thing, as long as I hit
um
the right one.
I know what one you want. I don't really care about like collecting. I've made that obvious, but
Yeah,
the first one, I want that dragon. I'd
yeah,
have
we'll
it in
read
the
into
deck.
it.
So Krell, my boy Krell,
Hmm.
Stone Scale Tyrant. He's a 5 cost terror. It's a unique ally, tamer, beast, dragon. As an additional
Dragon.
cost, yeah, my boy's a dragon. As an additional cost to activate this card, banish 2 preserved cards from your material deck. It has Intercept, Sprout Shroud, True Sight, Vigor, and if you pay within the next 10 minutes, you get a set of steak knives. This guy's got it all. He's got everything. Class bonus on attack, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck and put them into your mirror deck preserved.
This
He
thing
does
is
it all.
ridiculous.
And
Ridiculous.
and he doesn't care if you're level well, you're gonna be level 3, but he doesn't
He
care if you're
doesn't
level
care.
3,
He doesn't
4,
judge.
5.
He doesn't judge.
That
He doesn't
don't
judge.
care about that stupid bloody
Yeah, nah,
line
he's
that's got
humble.
bloody
He's
pride
humble. Yeah.
35.
Yeah.
He just comes out and serves whoever plays him.
Yeah. Carl's a
That's why I
nice
like
guy.
him.
Carl's a nice guy, mate.
He ain't got no pride. Yeah, he's just a humble fucking dragon ready to do some work, man.
Good.
You've
Very
got
strong
stealth here, don't
card.
worry about it.
Yeah, true
Can I
sight doesn't
target him?
matter.
Nah, man.
You, you think
Nah,
I'm worried
man.
about attacking? I got Vigor. You think you want to blow me up with something? I got Spell Shroud. You want to hit
Can you
fucking
clean?
Sylvia? Intercept.
I've got 8 health, bro. I've
Yeah.
got 8 health. This thing's
So
cooked. So yeah,
the
I want to actually have him on deck. That's a big flex.
the Sig looks very nice. As additional cost to
Oh,
activate the card, you do need to banish 2 preserved cards, but there are many
yeah.
cards in Sylvia that can cheat this out. You've got Hymns of Guy's
Yeah.
Grace, you've got With the Pack, etc. There are ways to get it out. once this guy gets out, he's going to be hard to get rid of. There will be ways, and then probably you'll have to hit him pretty hard, maybe. But yeah, very scary card and something that probably still be needed, to be honest.
Yeah, so he's got maybe it's the colors. I'll pop the CR versions when we're talking about the cards because they just look
Mm-hmm.
better. Yeah, I definitely want that one, and
Look,
I haven't wanted on many.
we're not gonna talk about Lancelot. We'll still discuss, I guess, the Sig if you want to bring the Sig up. This
Yeah, we'll
is
pop the Sig up.
very nice Sig. I
Yeah.
do like it. I do think that now I've seen fractals that this card, you can pay fractals to give him +3 every turn.
Oh yeah, easy.
I also someone said it today in the Discord. This made my brain light up. This with Gildas is insane because you play you play Gildas, you stay at 7 cards, and then you just pay 3 every turn and turn Gildas on every turn.
Yep.
Which is quite insane.
Yeah, but you'd have to burn a card each turn, otherwise you're going to have 8 the next turn.
True.
You'd have to pay more fractals. Here's a deck where you can actually play a lot of fractals because you are getting a card out of hand. So
correct,
and that will maintain 7. I don't know. You haven't played Elden Ring, but like him standing there, he's giving me like that Stormveil in like behind him.
Yeah, I like his sword. His
that
sword
castle.
is huge. He reminds me of an old Yasuo. That's what I keep saying. An old Yasuo.
Yeah.
All right, and then we're going into the big event, the main event, the spiciest thing I've seen in a long time,
She got
ladies
2
and
different
gentlemen.
SIGs.
This is ridiculous. Merlin Kingslayer is a level 3 Crux champion. She is a mage / warrior human, so she has dual class. She is Merlin lineage. You do need to level off the lineage break level 2 Merlin. At the beginning of your recollection phase, put a level counter on Merlin. Then, if there's an even amount of level counters on Merlin, draw a card, and Merlin's attacks get +2 until the end of the turn. So, hey,
There's
you
2
guys complained
variations.
about Lorraine. Well, we've written Merlin on this Lorraine, and you guys can play with Merlin in Crux.
So the real question is that people are putting in the Discord: is Merlin controlling Lorraine or is Merlin shape shifting? I feel like it's shape shifting because the
Who
eyes change
knows?
color.
Yeah, who knows? I have no idea. We
I
need to find
prefer
out.
the more fractured crown Merlin, the one with more pinks,
You
like
got to
the one
give
that.
it the smile, man. You got to the smile is where it's at.
Um,
The
look,
smile
if you
sells
get
it. I feel like if that evil smile changes everything. Like it's like she just took over the world.
look, I'd be happy if I got that SIG because I'll probably get a playset of me boy Kroll.
Yeah,
By just trading
true,
that one in.
true.
Um,
Yeah, I think that. So this card is insane.
it's
People have
Merlin
been,
lineage, so you have to play it on level 2 Merlin.
yeah, people love Merlin. People have been for the last 6 months.
No.
Oh, where's the level 1 and level 3 for Merlin? I want to play Merlin. Well, here you go. It is not
No.
arcane. It is a Crux mage / warrior, which is going to be really interesting. I'm just excited
Yes.
to just throw more ascensions and bounce more Sword of Avarices in set 2, mate.
There's going to be a lot, but you've got like.
There's a lot of carpal tunnel happening with my hands, with a lot of the
Oh no.
ascensions I'm going to be having to do,
My
mate.
hand size experience is going to be all over the joint.
Yeah.
From now, me fractals and me.
Yep. Yep.
I'm looking at I haven't even read the description. You even said it then. I was paying attention. I was just looking at like the different
every
sets.
turn, Merlin gains a level. Every turn,
Yeah, and when
Merlin
it's
gains a
even,
level, and when it's even, you draw
+2.
a card, free draw.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. You know
I
what, man? People
thought
stop
I was.
complaining about Lorraine, I guess, for 20 minutes.
It's Merlin though. It's literally Lorraine as a picture.
You don't have to play Lorraine level 1 too, yeah. If you want to play
It just. Oh yeah,
you will play a Lorraine
anything.
level 1 because you want the
You
sword,
want a
but
sword,
like
yeah.
um
This reminds me of that meme
interesting.
though, where it's like the guy gets thrown out of the bar and then he rocks up with like a mustache and like a sombrero hat. This is literally Lorraine, just like, hey man, I'm not Lorraine, I'm Merlin. You want to keep playing Crux? Come on in. The water's warm.
A mage has got 28 health now. That's the
Yeah, yeah. Sheesh. No, this is. I'm excited. I'm excited for these reveals. I'm hoping there'll be more coming up. We do
There's one
have
more little
a
announcement.
last little bit. Yep.
Yeah.
Number 3, fractured crowned armaments. Previously, you get an average of 3 foils per box, 1 UR box, and a CR in 1 out of many boxes. Because of the wide margin and the pull rate of normal cards and CRs, it led to high variance box openings. There was a need for a new chase rarity before CRs. In FTC, we'll have a subset called Fractured Crown Armaments, FTCA. It is a 26 card
or
set
factor.
considering of common and uncommon regalia from Dawn of Ashes. The only difference is that they will be given a new exciting special card treatment. We're excited to show
Yeah.
off these cards soon.
So
Interesting.
that's why in the product page it says there's 113 unique foils. 26 of them are from Dawn of Ashes. So that's where your sort of seekings, your
I wonder what type of foiling
scepters.
it'll be. I wonder if it'll be like a textured foiling or whether they'll go down like some other path of
Well,
foiling.
that's how. Well, they didn't say any like special
Nah, they
foiling.
didn't
They
say
said special
anything.
card treatment. So
Yeah, who
could be
knows?
just alter art. We don't know, but judging by like their special card treatment, I think they're gonna. You're not gonna be disappointed if you hit that.
Yeah, no, I don't think
Um,
so.
but I'll be disappointed if I don't hit my boy Carl. I know it's Carl, but
He's on the Kral train. He's on the Kral
I'm
train.
calling him Carl. He's Carl, man.
Call it in, Carl. All right, thank you
Uh,
guys. Sorry that this went so long, but I hopefully you appreciate the video, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Catch you guys later.
says.
Peace.